I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not. Kovalev.
Kovalev was older. He
Billy Joe.
does. Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot of power, but all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect.
To go to the 12th round, that's a mediocre mind. You need to put a good fight there and put great show. You know what I mean?
Do you think Crawford will employ the same tactics to try and box?
I hope not. I hope not, because the people deserve.
He like me. He's not that big. You know, he heavy, but he not that big.
Right.
You know, and I'm just like, all right. I'm laughing, but at the same time, it started hitting me like, all right, man, maybe he on to something. You know, and then I started sizing him up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7". You know, my arm's longer.
Yeah.
Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez had a very heated clash at the Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas, which is the new city hosting their fight on September 13th. The pair were set to meet around the fight venue for their press conference ahead of their blockbuster clash in September. However, things got really bad at the airport after the pair came towards each other. The altercation began between their teams.
He's been ready. What's he been ready? What's up? I've been ready. What's up? What you talking about? You know the real deal. You know the real deal. What's up? You know the real deal.
Somebody smack the shit out of your dog, man. Shut up. Shut up.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.
The two teams, on sighting each other, began to yell their fighter's name and move towards each other. As a result, there was a clash. Crawford and Canelo got into the mix and attempted separating them, pushing them apart to go their separate ways. As they did this, they almost came close to blows. But each fighter had so much to do with their teams that they just had to go their separate ways and make their way to the press conference.
Great show, you know what I mean?
Do you think Crawford will employ the same tactics to try and box?
I hope not. I hope not, because the people deserve a good fight.
What do you make of the Crawford fight next?
Huh?
How excited are you for the Crawford fight?
I'm excited. I'm gonna enjoy this win and then wait till do it.
Of course, the former undisputed welterweight champion from Omaha, Nebraska, sounded very confident and affirmative at the press conference as he predicted a victory for himself. Definitely, I'm gonna beat him, he knows. I've always said this about dudes that fight him. They're always scared. But I'm going to come in, do my job, and get the victory. He's a great fighter that I respect, but he's not faced anything like what I'm bringing to the ring with him. I'm coming with a mentality to get the win, and I would. He may be bigger, but he's not better.
It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently, and it'd be a well-fought fight for both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody that I step in.
This statement from Crawford was more than just a statement, as it sent some funny message to Canelo Alvarez, who didn't appreciate Crawford's words to him. Before the interviewer could move to Canelo, he interrupted the interviewer himself and shunned Crawford for saying he was better than him. Why would you say that you're better than me? Which fighters have you fought? What's your boxing record like? What have you done that I've not done before? You're not better than GGG or any of the guys I've won.
For fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit.
Funnily, Canelo Alvarez made a reference to Jermell Charlo, who he defeated some years back after he had moved some weight classes up to fight against him. You'll do nothing more than what Charlo did, and I'll treat you both the same way. I'll teach you boxing and let you know that weight classes exist for a reason. "My hands will be the last hands to send you to retire," Canelo added before they were asked to continue with their face-off. This was quite different from every other moment the two fighters have shared with themselves, where they're known to show so much respect and admiration for each other. Clearly, after announcing the fight and making it official, things have taken a dangerous turn between them.
Face Crawford, but you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible. Why not? It's possible.
Other than the size difference and having to put on some weight, what challenges does Canelo pose once you guys get in there?
I don't know. I just think, his punching power and his physical size is the only thing that I really have to worry about. But who knows? Once we get in the ring, we don't know how I'll handle his punching power, his size. I've been fighting bigger guys.
This generated so much buzz between boxing fans who are in huge anticipation of the thrilling encounter between these future Boxing Hall of Famers. A fan even commented, "I can't wait for this match. It finally looks like boxing wants to reward us for many months of watching trash." The clash between Terence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez, scheduled for September 12th in Las Vegas, promises to be one of the most emblematic clashes of the modern era of boxing. Both arrive as undisputed champions in their respective divisions.
Great performance tonight.
Oh, I feel great. I win. I come to put a great show, but to put a great show, you need both fighters. So, but at the end of the day, win is a win.
Are you frustrated with William's score?
Yeah, a little bit, but.
What did you say to him at the end of the fight?
I say to him,
Canelo in super middleweight and Crawford in welterweight. Although the American will move up 2 categories to face the Mexican, he does so only after carefully analyzing his next opponent. Canelo's recent victory over Cuban William Skull by unanimous decision in Saudi Arabia was closely watched by Crawford, who studied the champion's every move. "I don't think Canelo has dropped his level. It was more the merit of the style that was presented to him," he told Fight Hub TV, pointing to Skull's defensive and mobile approach as an effective formula to neutralize the Mexican. During the 12 rounds in Riyadh, Skull avoided direct exchanges and focused on constant movement, a strategy that reduced Alvarez's offensive effectiveness.
You just come to, you can not win a fight like that, fighting like that. And he said, "I'm sorry, it's my first time and I just tried to put a good fight and I'm so sorry." That's fine.
What's your message to fighters who will fight you in the future? Obviously not Crawford, but with that kind of mindset, they just want to last the distance.
That's a mediocre mind. Because they come just to survive, to go to the 12th round. That's a mediocre mind. You need to put a good fight there and put.
I want this fight now.
Well, I've been wanting to fight. I feel as if that's a legacy fight. I feel as if this is the biggest fight in boxing today. I feel like this fight right here is like the last of the Mohicans. We both coming in an era where Floyd Mayweather was #1 pound for pound, Showtime, and HBO era, that type of era. So
of the 152 punches thrown by Canelo, only 56 landed, and although 40 of them were to the body, the knockout was never close. Skull moved a lot. He neutralized Canelo's power punches well, Crawford said, who also lamented that the Cuban did not keep up that pace throughout the fight. He was boxing well, and then he stopped. Crawford has already hinted that his strategy will not rely on seeking the knockout, but rather on dominating Canelo with tactical intelligence, speed, and constant movement. His ability to switch stances, adapt to different styles, and unsettle his opponents makes him a serious threat.
So every time I see him, he'll come and be like, "Canelo."
Yeah, you know how Billy do it too, yeah.
So every time, I'll be like, "Man, come on, man."
Yeah.
So every time he say that, I just be like gradually getting into like looking at like okay, and he's not that big. he heavy, but he not that big.
Right.
You know, and I was just like, all right. I'm laughing, but at the same time, it started hitting.
The American seems convinced that with discipline, lateral movement, and active defense, he can deactivate the Mexican's power. After the fight in Saudi Arabia, Crawford stepped into the ring and had a first face-to-face with Canelo, officially marking the start of the promotion for their fight. The scene not only ignited fans' expectations, but also made it clear that Crawford is preparing with more than just muscle. He plans to use his head. "I'm seeing the holes in his game, and I know how to attack him," his trainer Brian Bomac McIntyre has said, making it clear that the plan is in motion. Despite the fact that Canelo is the favorite in the betting houses, Crawford is not a common opponent.
I feel sorry for him. But he's boxing. He's boxing, and you know, things happen.
Did you watch the fight?
Yeah, of course. It was the fight.
He was a good dancer.
Yeah.
Would you rather see him fight Gus Haney again or Rowley again?
The American has undisputed titles in 2 different divisions, a feat that few have achieved in the history of boxing, and is now looking for a 3rd consecration against one of the biggest names in the sport. In this fight, legacy is at stake as much as victory. In an interview with Sway's Universe, Canelo Alvarez expressed his openness to the fight. "I'm in. Why not? Don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter, but for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight, easy money. If the money is right, I'm in because I don't like to fight guys like Crawford. He moves a lot, and the fight is not that great. I saw in his last fight, and he doesn't move that much now. So, if the money is right, I'm in right now. There are weight classes for a reason," Canelo added.
Muy bien cuando vine a pelear a Madison y voy a volver a venir.
Canelo, I'm sure you saw the fight with Crawford in Madrimov, and you heard Turki Alishik say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And look,
This statement marks a notable shift for Canelo, who had previously expressed reluctance to face Crawford, citing the lack of credit he would receive for defeating a smaller opponent. Meanwhile, Crawford has shown persistence in pursuing the matchup, willing to move up 2 weight classes to prove his dominance. Crawford is fully aware of the physical disadvantage he would face against Canelo, acknowledging that size will play a crucial role in the fight. However, he remains confident in his ability to overcome this challenge and impose his boxing style. Some analysts have expressed skepticism about Crawford's ability to compete effectively at super middleweight. This stems in part from his most recent fight, a points victory over Israel Madrimov at super welterweight, which lacked the dominant display many expected.
In hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that.
This fight will be massive.
And you mentioned Floyd. Obviously, Floyd and Manny, a lot of people thought happened way after it should have happened. You guys are both in your prime right now. You guys are both 2 of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in boxing. This is the biggest fight in boxing right now.
Definitely. And that's what I've been saying. You know, you got two guys, top 3, pound-for-pound.
Regardless of these concerns, the potential bout between Canelo and Crawford has captivated the imagination of boxing fans. The blend of power, speed, technique, and charisma from both fighters sets the stage for what could be an unforgettable spectacle. Longtime trainer and boxing commentator Teddy Atlas spoke with Ring Magazine on his thoughts on the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight this fall, and why he's seemingly leaning towards Crawford to pull out the win over the naturally bigger Canelo.
How is Crawford, his composure, going to be like the moment a punch lands on him from Canelo?
Are you kidding me? Take that question back.
Yeah, why?
Because you're talking about Crawford.
He's the weight classes.
He's the most composed guy. What, you don't think he'll be prepared? You think it'll be a shock to him? No. He's already moved up 3 weight classes. So now you're talking 6 if you add on 3. Crawford has the ability to slow things down in the ring that very few people have.
Through the history of the sport has always been one of the greatest questions. Who wins between the real good big man and the real good little man? Atlas said. That has been a question through the history of the sport, and we're getting another chance to answer that question. You can make arguments on both sides. Well, Canelo is too big. He's too big, and as good as Crawford is, he stepped up with Madrimov, and he struggled a little bit. He won, but it was more competitive than we thought. But we didn't understand how good Madrimov was because we underestimated him because he only had 10 pro fights, but he had 300 amateur fights. He was a good, solid fighter.
And his timing is at a different level, just a whole different, dimension than anybody else. He sees things that other people don't see. So it's not just that he's quick and he's faster, but his timing is better because he's so calm that he sees something and he's just gonna catch it. Just a twitch of your muscle, whatever it is, where you're just starting to see that.
We started to knock down Crawford a little bit because our expectations were so high, and that's wrong. That's wrong. He won. He changed gears. He did what he had to do when he realized the level of this guy in front of him, and he got the win. But again, people are going to say, Canelo is too big. He had trouble with a 154-pound guy when he went up from welterweight, so now he's going up to 168. I'm going to make an argument through the history of the sport where little guys have been able to beat big guys because you reverse it. You reverse who's got the advantage and the disadvantage.
And to see things that nobody else can see because he slows it down. Yeah, he's got great power. He carried it up. Yeah, he's got good hand speed. Yeah, he's got all that. He's got good technique. His coaches do a tremendous job with him. But the timing is impeccable. It's better than anyone else's. Why? Because of this. When a guy has that ingredient,
the size, the power of Canelo, then all of the sudden you go back and you say, hey, wait a minute. The other guy's faster. The other guy's craftier. The other guy has more options. Maybe he's got the advantages, like the first time Pacquiao fought De La Hoya. And I know De La Hoya was having trouble with weight and all that. I get it, and that's fair. At the end of the day, you have an argument on both sides. Who really has the advantage? I want to find out. I'm one of the people that think Crawford's very special. I'm not saying Canelo's not, but I think he's special in a different way, where he's got instincts not everyone has. It's the timing, it's the instinctual things, the X factors. I think they're going to show themselves. I really do.
And that's why he's always ahead of you. I think the only thing that, look, Paulie brought it up, there's a couple things that obviously can defeat somebody as special as Crawford. You can move up too many weight classes. I don't think that's the case. He's got the skeleton. He's got the size. He fits in good. He's a wiry guy. And these guys aren't, these are good, solid fighters.
And I can't wait to see a smaller guy use those intangibles, use those X factors to beat a bigger guy. Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez represent boxing royalty from different kingdoms. Crawford built his reputation as an undefeated welterweight king who moved up to destroy Errol Spence Jr. in spectacular fashion. Alvarez climbed from super welterweight all the way to light heavyweight, collecting belts and breaking hearts along the way.
So every time I see him, he'd come and be like, Canelo?
You're right. Yeah, you know how Bill do it too, yeah.
So every time, I'll be like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
So every time he say that, I'll just be like gradually getting into like looking at it, like, okay.
Their September showdown promises to be one of those fights that boxing fans will talk about for decades, regardless of who wins. The lead up to this boxing mega fight has produced no shortage of expert opinions and hot takes. Every fighter, trainer, and analyst seems eager to share their prediction about September 13th.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. So let's not do that, Canelo.
World Boxing Council lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson recently added his voice to the growing chorus of predictions. His take carries extra weight because he trains alongside Crawford and knows his fighting style better than most. When someone spends countless hours in the gym watching a fighter work, their opinion tends to carry more credibility than random social media takes. Stevenson's prediction couldn't be clearer or more confident. He believes Crawford will defeat Canelo Alvarez when they meet in the ring.
My arm's longer.
Yeah.
He's strong. I'm strong.
Right.
You know, it'd be, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So I just started looking into it, and I'm like, man.
The young lightweight champion didn't hold back his enthusiasm for his training partner's chances. He acknowledged Alvarez's skills, but insisted that Crawford possesses all the tools needed to solve the Mexican superstar's puzzle. I think Bud is going to cook Canelo. I think Canelo is a hell of a fighter, but Bud has all of the tools to beat him. I think y'all make the weight difference something. In certain fights, yes. If this was David Benavidez, that would apply because he's a lot bigger than Bud. But with Canelo, physically, he's kind of big, but height-wise, he's kind of small.
I think Bud gonna cook Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
Yeah.
You don't think the weight difference is going to be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, in certain fights,
Boxing makes it something.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's physically kind of big, but height-wise.
This isn't just blind loyalty talking either. Shakur Stevenson has watched Crawford adapt and overcome different fighting styles throughout his career. From his days as a lightweight to his current status as an undisputed welterweight champion, Crawford has shown an ability to figure out any opponent put in front of him. Many experts consider Canelo Alvarez's physical advantages to be a major factor in this fight. He's naturally bigger, stronger, and has been fighting at higher weight classes for years. But Stevenson dismissed these concerns, pointing out that while Alvarez is physically thick and muscular, he's not particularly tall.
Like easy work?
Yes.
You be disrespecting the top, though. I ain't gonna lie. You disrespecting the top.
Yo, I'm really 80-90% with this boxing. I be calling, but I just feel as though Bud really got all the ingredients to beat a Canelo. Being southpaw, having the feet work, being fast, sharp. I think he got all the ingredients.
Crawford's former opponent, Kell Brook, is looking forward to the bout as he believes it's a clash of two elite fighters. However, he is backing Canelo to win because Crawford will be moving up 2 weight classes. Brook thinks it's difficult to bridge such a weight gap against a top champion like Canelo. He also doesn't think Crawford can replicate Mayweather's blueprint to beat Canelo because they're different fighters, and Alvarez has vastly improved since that defeat almost 12 years ago.
I need to ask you about a fight, Crawford-Canelo. In September, you obviously faced Crawford, so I do need your opinion on this fight. And Canelo's fought recently. What do you make of that fight?
It's a wow. It's a wow fight. You know what I mean? It's two supreme athletes fighting against each other. But you've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's gonna have to move up, and I knew when I boxed Golovkin.
He told pro boxing fans, "When I look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford is not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He kind of sets his feet." He added, "I think it's a different fight to Mayweather." Canelo, obviously, a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather.
There's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay. But when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but, Crawford's very, very, very good.
Do you think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring. But
Brook said about his prediction, "I'd have to favor Canelo. Just his size, his experience, his ring generalship. He's got experience, he's big, he's strong. Crawford's more of a smaller guy, sharp fighter, he's number 1 as well. But like I said, in my opinion, I have to lean towards Canelo." And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news comes moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing. Stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.